Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
My name is Emmett, and I used to patrol the Special Collections Archive of Blackwood University's old library. Most people would call it a glorified night watchman job, and they'd be right. But I liked the solitude. Miles of forgotten history, ancient texts, brittle manuscripts, just me and the hushed whispers of forgotten lives. It was quiet, usually. Safe. Kathleen, my younger sister, was a student there. Bright, energetic, always pushing me to get out more. She'd often stay late, studying, sometimes needing a ride home. I didn't mind. It was a way to feel useful, a protective instinct that had been with me since our parents passed when she was young. I was her anchor, or so I told myself. The night it happened, I was on my usual rounds. It was almost midnight, and a strange draft had caught my attention in the restricted occult studies section, a part of the archive almost always locked down. The air was unnaturally cold, heavy with the scent of ozone and mildew. As I approached, a few books on a high shelf seemed to have shifted, leaning at impossible angles as if jostled by an unseen force. My flashlight beam cut through the gloom, showing dust motes dancing in the sudden, eerie chill. My phone buzzed. Kathleen, a text. "Hey, almost done. Can you wait up for me in the lobby? Need a ride." I hesitated. That damn shelf. The hairs on my arms were standing up. Curiosity, or maybe a stupid sense of duty to the anomaly, won out. I texted back, "Almost done with my rounds, be there in 15. It was a lie. I knew I'd be longer. I wanted to see what was happening here. My phone buzzed again, a call this time. I let it ring out. I'd call her back after this. Just a few more minutes. Those few minutes cost me everything. Kathleen, impatient, had left without me. The streetlights were out on her usual shortcut. A drunk driver, a blind corner. By the time Sloan, my security supervisor, called me with the news, I was already numb. I'd been staring at a page from a medieval grimoire that seemed to shimmer faintly under my light, oblivious. I hadn't even called her back. I tried to go back to work. I had to. The silence of the archive, once a comfort, became oppressive. Every creak of the old timbers, every rustle of dry paper, sounded like an accusation. I started seeing her. Not clearly, just glimpses. A flash of her red scarf in the periphery of the main hall, her profile in the reflection of a glass display case. I'd whip my head around, but there was only dusty air. Then the whispers started, faint at first, like wind through a cracked window. They seemed to slither from between the spines of the books, coalescing into fragments of her voice. "Emmett, where were you?" Or "You said 15. They followed me, learning my route from the main vault to the special collections. I started barricading myself in my office, trying to drown them out with the bad coffee and the drone of the security monitors. But even the monitors sometimes showed fleeting, distorted shadows in the empty halls. I started drinking heavily at home just to get some sleep. The nightmares were worse when I was sober. Sloan noticed. "You look like hell, Emmett. Maybe take some time off." I snapped at her, saying I was fine. I wasn't. I needed to be there in the library to face it. Because it was there, I knew. It wasn't just grief. It was something else, something old and patient. It had seen my moment of weakness, my lapse in judgment, and it had exploited it. One night, the whispers escalated into something more tangible. As I stood in that occult studies section, the one that had held my attention, the temperature plummeted. My breath plumed. The books on that same high shelf began to vibrate, a low hum filling the air. Then, one by one, they started to slide out, pages fluttering as if alive. They formed a gruesome tableau on the floor, open to passages I couldn't understand, but whose illustrations depicted grotesque, mournful figures. And there she was, Kathleen, standing at the end of the aisle. Her eyes were wide, unblinking, but wrong, too black, too deep. Her usually vibrant face was ashen, her lips a bruised purple. "Why didn't you answer?" she whispered, her voice a chorus of dry leaves and cracking parchment. Her hand, pale and thin, reached out, beckoning me closer. I stumbled backwards, my heart hammering against my ribs. This wasn't her ghost. This was a mockery. Something in the archive had absorbed my guilt, my anguish, and was now wearing it like a skin suit. It wanted me to feel every agonizing second of that night. As I backed away, the shelves behind me seemed to groan, tilting inward, threatening to bury me in forgotten knowledge. Suddenly, the books on the floor rearranged themselves. They didn't just move. They unfurled into an image, a horrifying diorama of the intersection where Kathleen had died. A tiny, crumpled figure on the asphalt, a dark pool spreading. And then a book, glowing faintly, opened right in front of my face. Its pages showed a distorted, ghostly version of myself, flashlight in hand, intently staring at those shifting books on the high shelf, my phone vibrating ignored in my pocket. The entity, still in Kathleen's twisted form, leaned in close. Its cold breath smelled of dust and decay. "You were right here," it hissed, its voice no longer hers but a grating, ancient sound. "So close. You chose the whispers of the past over the plea of the living, and I facilitated your choice." Its eyes seemed to swell, reflecting the image of me, fascinated by the moving books, while Kathleen's last calls went unanswered. I screamed, a raw, primal sound that echoed through the vast, silent archive. I ran. I didn't clock out. I just ran, leaving the doors unlocked, the lights on, the horrors behind me. Or so I hoped. I quit my job, sold my apartment, moved across the country, but it followed. Not the visions, not the direct manifestations, but the feeling. The crushing weight of regret, the certainty that something is always listening, always waiting for me to be distracted again. Every missed call, every delayed response to a text sends a jolt of ice through my veins. I know now it wasn't just my grief. The archive, or whatever resided within it, had chosen me, and it's still feeding. I hear the whispers now even when there are no books. And sometimes, late at night, I feel a strange, cold draft no matter how tightly I seal the windows. Check your missed calls. Answer them.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.